Hola, I'm Spanish Dave, and now we are on the fifth lesson in the intro, the why of Spanish verbs. If you're not currently on the site, please join us at verbmastery.com. Let's jump right into the lesson. Well, first, I'll go ahead and close the side navigation. Instruction. Ooh, it looks like there's a typo. By the time you see this, that typo should be fixed. Instruction, brief comparison with English verb conjugation. Understanding the differences and similarities between Spanish and English verb conjugation can make learning Spanish more approachable. While both languages conjugate verbs to indicate tense, person, and number, the methods and complexity differ significantly. This section provides a brief comparison to highlight these contrasts and aid your understanding of Spanish verb conjugation. Basic structure of verb conjugation. English verb conjugation. In English, verb conjugation is relatively simple. The base form of the verb changes minimally to indicate different subjects and tenses. For example, present tense, I speak, you speak, he, she, it speaks, we speak, you all speak, they speak. There are two variations in English, speak and speaks. Past tense, I spoke, you spoke, he, she, it spoke, we spoke, you all spoke, they spoke. There's only one variation, just spoke. Future tense, I will speak, you will speak, he, she, it will speak, we will speak, you all will speak, and they will speak. There's only one variation here also, speak. English is much easier in this aspect than Spanish as far as the verb conjugations go. In English, auxiliary verbs do, did, and will often accompany the verb to indicate tense. Now let's look at Spanish verb conjugation. Spanish verbs undergo more extensive changes based on the subject and tense. Each verb has a distinct conjugation for each subject pronoun, and the endings of the verb change accordingly. For example, the verb hablar, to speak, in the present tense. Let's look at that. Here we go. Present tense. Yo hablo, tú hablas, él, ella, usted habla, nosotros or nosotras hablamos, vosotros or vosotros, vosotras habláis, and ellos, ellas, and ustedes hablan. There are 6 variations, unlike English that only had looks like 2, right? 2 variations in the present tense. Spanish has 6 variations. Hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, hablan. Okay, past tense, preterite. Yo hablé, tú hablaste, él, ella, usted habló, nosotros, nosotras hablamos, vosotros hablasteis, and ellos, ellas, or ustedes hablaron. There are 6 variations in Spanish, so Spanish is a little trickier, but we're going to teach you step by step during this course how to learn each of them. There are patterns that you can follow to learn. Future tense. Yo hablaré, tú hablarás, él, ella, o usted hablará, nosotros o nosotras hablaremos, vosotros o vosotras hablaréis, ellos, ellas, and ustedes hablarán. Again, there are 6 variations. 6 variations in present tense. 6 variations in past tense, the preterite, and 6 variations in future tense. So it's a little trickier, but we'll walk you through that. Unlike English, Spanish verbs do not typically require auxiliary verbs to indicate tense. Remember, the auxiliary verbs are do, did, and will, right? So, subject pronouns. English subject pronouns. English has subject pronouns that are always required in a sentence to indicate who's performing the action. They are I, you, he, she, it, we, you all, or they. Spanish subject pronouns, we already learned these before, but here's a quick review. Spanish also has subject pronouns that they're often omitted or left out because the verb ending itself indicates the tense, right? Because there are 6 variations that indicate generally the tense. So they are yo, I, tú, you on an informal basis. If you're on a first name with someone like Juan or Juana, él, ella, or usted, you or he, she, and you, and usted is the formal singular. That's if you're on a title basis with someone like Dr., Mr., or Mrs. Nosotros or nosotras, we. To learn more about when to use each one, be sure and go to the pronoun lesson. Vosotros and vosotras, that's you all, like you kind of like a little bit kind of like you guys, informal plural. And ellos, ellas, and ustedes, they, masculine, feminine, and you all. For example, hablo, I speak, clearly indicates the subject yo without needing to state yo hablo. And notice you may have caught this that there's the same form for él, ella, unos, and usted. So sometimes you may need to use él, ella, or usted to clarify. Regular versus irregular verbs. English regular verbs. Most English verbs are regular, meaning they follow a simple pattern for past and past participle forms, typically adding ed. Talk is talked, right? And work is worked. Play is played. Very simple. English irregular verbs. Irregular verbs in English do not follow this pattern and must be memorized individually. Go it's not goed, although you might hear 3-year-olds say that. Go is went. See is saw, and eat is in the past ate. Spanish regular verbs. Spanish regular verbs fall into 3 categories based on their infinitive endings: AR, ER, and IR verbs. Each category follows a specific conjugation pattern. This is for regular verbs. Hablar, which means to speak. The Spanish regular, and we'll learn this more coming up, so don't worry too much. You don't need to memorize this here, but just know that there are differences. There's hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, and hablan. The ER verb, ER form, is comer, means to eat, and it is como, comes, come, comemos, coméis, and comen. And vivir, to live, is an IR verb, right? It ends in IR. Unlike the other ones, hablar is AR, comer is ER. This is an IR verb. Notice the differences. There's vivo, vives, vive, vivimos, vivís, and viven. Notice it's pretty similar to the ER verbs with just a couple of differences, like here and here, right? In the nosotros and vosotros forms. Spanish irregular verbs. Spanish has many irregular verbs that do not follow the regular conjugation patterns and must be learned individually. Here are 3 examples. Ser, which is to be. The conjugations are soy, eres, es, somos, sois, and son. Again, very irregular. Tener, which is to have. Tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tenéis, and tienen. And ir, which is to go, is voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, and van. Tenses and moods. English tenses and moods. English uses auxiliary verbs and verb forms to indicate tenses and moods. The main tenses include present, past, and future, with perfect continuous and perfect continuous aspects. Spanish tenses and moods. Spanish has a wider variety of tenses and moods, including the indicative, subjunctive, and imperative moods. Each mood has several tenses. Okay, this gets tricky, but again, later on we'll walk you through each of these. Just know they exist for now. You don't need to memorize them. But here the indicative includes present tense, preterite tense, imperfect tense, future, and conditional. The subjunctive tense includes there's a present subjunctive, imperfect subjunctive, future, which is rarely used, perfect subjunctive and pluperfect subjunctive. This whole course will gradually get you through all of those tenses. So again, they'll be learned one at a time. The imperative mood is commands like eat, sit, go, run, walk, whatever. Okay, conclusion. Both English and Spanish require verb conjugation. Spanish is the most complex due to its varied endings, subject-specific forms, and extensive use of different tenses and moods. Understanding these differences can help you approach Spanish conjugation with greater clarity and confidence. By recognizing the patterns and practicing regularly, you can become proficient in navigating the rich verb landscape of the Spanish language. Now we've completed that lesson. I'm going to go ahead and click here and mark it complete. Okay, it's now complete. And then we'll go on to the next lesson down here, or I can go on to the quiz. Metacognition is actually in this course is considered a quiz. So that is it. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you on the next lesson.